today for PT. So we need 3 POC to step and volunteer. And so we have a lot of hoops to go through with the Army coordinators, so we really need 3 POC to step up. So if anyone would like to help step up and help, please raise your hand now.
What time is it?
The game's at 2:30, so I'll have to be there around 12:30. So anybody want to volunteer? We're gonna have 2 for the color guard the next game. We're gonna have 4 for the push-up board. So does anybody want to volunteer? If not, we'll have to talk to the other kids who aren't getting. Okay. So cadet click, cadet Owens, so that's 2. So we need 1 more push-up volunteer if they can. If not, I can turn that to POC if you want or not. All right, thank you.
That was good.
Cadets, next we're going to have the Air Force headline news. It's really good to watch this. Let us know what's going on. It's really quick and it's really informative. So pay attention.
With the headlines, I'm Staff Sergeant Alina Richmond. The search continues for an F-15C pilot whose plane crashed in the Shenandoah Valley in Western Virginia Wednesday morning. Colonel James Keith, the 104th Flight Wing commander, says his team is hopeful the pilot is okay and that they will not speculate on the cause of the incident. The Mihail Comoviciano Air Base in Romania has replaced the transit center at Minas. The new center has already processed 85,000 service members deployed to Afghanistan and other locations in the CENTCOM AOR. And nominations are now being accepted for Portraits in Courage. The deadline for submissions is October 13th. Submissions should highlight valor, courage, and selfless service in extraordinary circumstances. For more on these stories and others, visit af.mil. That does it for the headlines. I'm Staff Sergeant Alina Richard.
These are really good to watch. You can YouTube them. That's actually very So if you want to look into more videos, you can have those to look at. Right here, we're going to have our mentor-mentee start again. So we're going to have these viewed. We're not going to have time at this LLab, but just take note of who your mentor or mentee is. It's going to be read from across, so each POC is going to get about 2 or 3 mentees.
Cadet Martinez, for those that are new, can you tell them what this program is all about?
Yes, a mentor-mentee program is really, it's about having someone that you can talk to, it's building a connection with someone who is already a POC. You can ask them questions about, I know for the girls specifically, it was what are better ways to wear my hair to not fall out, things like that. Just the questions you don't really want to ask in front of everyone, but it's really good advice, and they're there for you. You can ask them a lot of questions, and so you should really utilize the time that you're given. Has everyone taken note? Does anyone need more time? Sounds good. All right, cadets. Next, we're going to have Cadet McGrath and Cadet Matuzak come up and give us a sexual harassment brief.
Good afternoon, Captain Moffett, Captain Hurd, fellow cadets. My name is Cadet McGrath.
And I'm Cadet Matuzak.
Today we'll be giving you a brief on sexual harassment.
Today we're going to define sexual harassment, what the military equal opportunity program is, how to describe the indicators of sexual harassment, how to determine the conflict, and informal resolutions and formal resolutions.
What is sexual harassment? Basically, it's any unwelcome verbal or physical behavior of a sexual nature. Just to sum it up, if it makes somebody uncomfortable in a sexual nature whatsoever, it's sexual harassment. So it's something you have to be really, really careful for, especially in the times we're living in now. It is illegal, and The victim and the harasser could be a man or a woman. It's not gender specific, so it could be anybody.
And 80% of the victims know who their harasser is. It's not like a stalker who you never know. It's, you usually know who they are. So the military equal opportunity program, pretty much what you're saying here, it's against Air Force policy to commit sexual harassment. It's a zero tolerance policy. It's like as Colonel Training has been saying, it's been becoming a one-mistake Air Force. So it's almost a guarantee that it's going to be gone. So just don't sexual harassment. Does anybody not understand
That should have been on the third clip that you had. Was it not?
What?
That should have been on the third clip that you had. Was it?
The indicators of sexual harassment.
I gave you
Physical contact,
right there.
it could be anything small. You could just be touching someone's shoulders, putting their hand around their waist, like that. If that makes somebody uncomfortable, that could be, it didn't make me uncomfortable, but that could be sexual harassment. Gestures, making obscene signs with your hands or your fingers, something you think is funny or a joke, someone can take the wrong way, and that could be the one small mistake that kicks you out of the Air Force. You don't want something like that to axe you. Jokes and sexual innuendos, things that you think are funny, could get you in trouble. And pictures displaying scantily clad individuals, that Instagram post you have with your Air Force friends where you're not dressed well enough, that could be sexual harassment. If you have to even, if you even ask yourself, is this sexual harassment, just be safe and assume that it's not okay.
Also, too, if we're ever at LLab or any activity where even if like adjusting like how to fix uniform, you always ask permission to touch.
Great.
So they'll say gratis, that way you can help them. That way you're clearly, setting it to clear yes and no, you have a definitive answer whether you can permission or not. So that way everybody feels comfortable. All right. So in terms of endearment, I know in the southern states, the terms honey, sweetheart, dear, those are fairly common here. I mean, some people don't think you have to know, but if you're from like the northern states like I am from Chicago, you never hear that at all. So you really have to use your discrepancy and determine what's appropriate in each situation. But if you want to be safe, definitely, if questionable, don't do it. Also, too, questionable compliments. Like if I said to get the breath, you look solid in your pants. I mean, probably not going to be saying that. I know. Are you? Is that make you feel comfortable?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. So good there. But if I said that, you got to be really careful because somebody could take something the wrong way. It's different if you're friends. You still have to be careful too. But that's pretty different than he's not good about it.
Especially with the terms of endearment, like I grew up in Tulsa, I'm from the South, and it's just something you do without thinking sometimes, but it's definitely something that could offend people. So it's just something you really have to be careful with. You don't want to, try to be polite and then get in trouble for it. So just avoid terms like that as much as you can. How to determine the conflict? You need to think about what happened, what exactly it was that made you uncomfortable, what was the results of the behavior, did something big come out of it, did people notice it, was it something that messed up whatever was going on, which leads into the next point, to disrupt the environment. Did people stop and look? Was it a big deal? And what are your responsibilities after it happens?
And so in informal resolution, you can always approach the offender, always be professional all the time. Don't use profanity, don't just like blow up and go off, and that doesn't help your situation at all. You want to be calm and collected, always have evidence of what happened. So if they're sending text messages, things from cyberbullying, you want to have those messages saved, you want to have the timestamps, you want to have when it happened. Don't just say, oh, it happened last night. When did it happen last night? Where did it happen last night? What did they try and do? So that way you have evidence. So if you do have to file a police report, you can give the police all this information, and that will make your claim much more credible.
Because if it happens several times and you don't have an example, it makes you look like a boy who cried wolf. And before you know it, even if you're a victim, if you don't have any evidence, you're just, people aren't going to listen to you. Informal resolution continued. You need to ask other people to intervene on your behalf if it makes you uncomfortable. If you're afraid to be alone with that person, ask somebody to come with you. If that doesn't work, go to the chain of command. It's there for a reason. Just talk to those above you and work something out. A generic approach you could take is if someone was making you uncomfortable, ask for a sexual harassment briefing to be given at the next LLab.
So also too, with this generic approach, it would be different if there was a giant problem within a wing level, but if it's just one case, you probably just isolate that case. But if it's a wing level, but this is just generic briefing for everyone, so that's issues. Formal resolution, as chain commander, your flight commander, then help forward up the chain. Also too, if it's that serious, if the Air Force is serious, university level is serious, investigation go on, and they can determine that. So
it's exactly why we had to do the Haven thing that was in everybody's email. It's so much fun, I know. But it's really important because the university takes this so serious, just as serious as the Air Force. And while we're here, we're also OSU students. So, you know, if that's going on here, that's serious problems can happen.
Okay, so today we briefed you on sexual harassment, and that is unsolicited and sexual behavior. It is illegal in the United States and under Air Force policy, of course. We talked about the 6 indicators, so you know, touching, endearment, pictures, photos, all that stuff. How do you determine if it was a conflict, and the informal formal resolutions?
Are there any questions? All right.
Next, we're going to have a video presentation of the ORI. It's an open ranks inspection. It's something we do at least once a semester. Later today, we're going to be practicing it. So make sure you're watching to see how it's run.
Flights being inspected will march to the inspection area, position themselves at their proper location, and stand at parade rest. The flight commander will be posted 6 paces to the front of, centered on, and facing away from the flight. Inspector approaches, the flight commander will call the flight to attention, salute the inspector, and offer a verbal greeting. The inspector will direct the flight commander to prepare the flight for inspection, at which time the flight commander salutes the inspector and does an about face. The flight commander then gives the command, open ranks, march. Then immediately walks at a 45-degree angle to position him or herself 1 pace to the guide on bearage, right side, and then faces down the line. The flight commander then proceeds to align the flight, starting with the first element and then with the third element. Once the flight is aligned, the flight commander positions him or herself 3 paces in front of the guide on bearage right side, facing down the line. The first element will now be 3 paces to the left of the flight commander. The flight commander will command, ready, front. The flight commander takes 1 step forward, conducts a right face, and salutes the inspector, who has positioned him or herself immediately in front of the flight commander, and reports, "Sir, ma'am, such and such flight is prepared for inspection." The inspector returns the salute and begins to inspect the flight. While the flight commander is being inspected, the deputy flight commander takes 1 step to the rear, conducts a right face, and marches to a position 1 pace to the right and 1 pace to the front of the guide. He or she faces down the line, prepares to record the inspection results. After being inspected, the flight commander executes a line face and commands, second, third elements, parade, rest. The inspector takes the necessary steps forward to inspect the guidon bearer. The deputy flight commander, who is still positioned in front of the guidon bearer, facing down the line, will now execute a left face. The flight commander executes a half left and marching without arm stroke and halts one pace to the right and one pace to the rear of the inspector. The inspector halts and turns in front of the element leader of the next rank. The deputy flight commander marches past the rear of the inspector and resumes the position following the inspector. This causes the flight commander to precede the inspector and the deputy flight commander to follow the inspector. These positions are maintained throughout the inspection for the front of each respective rank. After completing the front inspection of each cadet, the inspector looks to the right to signal to the flight commander he or she is ready to move. So moving from individual to individual during the inspection, the inspector, flight commander, and deputy flight commander simultaneously execute a facing move to the right and marching and in place. Hold. The move is executed by pivoting 90 degrees to the right on the ball of the right foot, simultaneously stepping over the right foot with the left foot and placing the left foot parallel to the rank being inspected. Then advance one short step with the right foot and place the right foot pointed toward the flight. Next, bring the left heel into the right foot. Once again, resume the position of attention. This is called the duck walk. Deputy flight commander will halt while the flight commander will position him or herself one pace to the right of the deputy flight commander. Halt and record the inspection results of the deputy flight commander. The inspector inspects the deputy flight commander and commands post. The deputy flight commander will return to his or her position in the flight. The inspector marches off to the right flight while the flight commander proceeds directly to a position 3 paces beyond the front range. Halts and faces to the left or down line and commands flight. Flight commander then takes one step forward with the arm swing, faces to the right. The inspector marches to a position directly in front of the flight commander and gives comments. After receiving comments, the flight commander will salute and greet the departing official appropriately. The inspector then executes the appropriate facing movement to depart. To conclude the activity, the flight commander will command close ranks, march, before posting 3 paces in front of and centered on the flight. The flight will then be ready for the next scheduled activity.
All right, and so that was how to do an ORI. We're about to go out and practice what we learned in this video. So flight commanders, please lead your flights to the detachment. First, we're going to have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and please form in front of the detachment. Thank you.
Or back there. Okay, so right now we're going to go over the ORI or open ranks inspection. This is an inspection you'll have on active duty. You'll have it at field training. We do it here. It's good practice for military discipline. During the open ranks inspection, you'll be in service dress, blues. Here we do service dress. But for those that don't have uniforms, you'll need to wear a collared shirt, like a button-up shirt with a tie, since the other cadets will be in service dress. So the ORI begins in formation like this. Everyone's at the position of attention and a guide on square. And then the inspector begins by making sure everyone's at attention. So flight attention, and then the flight commander. Second parking lot. All right, you can go ahead and pull out. We're actually going to move.
You have about 10 to 15 minutes before the flag detail, too.
We need to line them up.
Not yet.
Not yet, but when it happens.
You'll know.
So this will be the formation you're in when we march over there. We're going to be either in front of the library or somewhere by Gals or Iba. And you're going to be in 3 columns and lined up. The flight commander will be in front and you'll say open ranks, march. And when he says that, you're all going to be at attention first. When he says open ranks, march, the first element will take 2 steps forward. Take 2 steps forward. Then we'll pop it. And as soon as that foot touches, the last foot touches, it'll pop up your right arm. Or that's your left arm, sorry. And then when I say open race harsh, as they're taking their steps forward, the second element will take a step forward. Pop your left arm up. And then the last element, the third element, will just pop your arm up as soon as I say that. Besides popping your arm up, you should also turn your head 45 degrees to the right. Except if you're on the end, there's no one to your right, but they'll turn your head. You guys, you won't turn your head. You'll just keep looking straight forward. Look straight forward.
He's good. Yeah, me.
Well, you don't. He doesn't think he does not turn his head. Oh, he does someone. And then the flight commander. And then when you're all lined up, the flight commander will go to the side or top, and then
whenever they have their hands up over the side, you go
and then I come back.
and
No, you guys are out the entire time.
Yeah, you have to hold your arms out there for kind of a long time.
As long as it takes me to line you guys up. So I'll come down the side, and I'll make sure the lines are straight, and everyone's lined up right. You guys stay there the entire time, looking how fast. And then I'll come back up to the front after I'm done lining you up. And I'll say ready to punt, and when I say that, you put your arms down. Everyone go back to the original fallen original form. So when you're like this, I'll give you a right face. So right face. And the flight commander will say, if you are taller than cadet in front, if you are taller than the cadet in front of you, tap your on shoulder and take your place. So everyone engage your eyes and leave. So let's just see. Cadet Robinson is taller than Cadet Terry. So what he'll do at that command is he'll tap Cadet Terry on the right shoulder, and then he'll step off with his right foot, and then take another step forward with his left foot to where they switch places. And then that's how it all happened with everyone. And when that's all done, when everyone is switched, I'll give another right haste. So then I'll give that command again. Then after that, I'll give another right haste. So right haste.
Hey, whenever you do the throwing tap, the exception of the element leaders, deputy flight commander, guide, and this is the guide on there. So it's with the exception of those. So these three right here, the element leaders, they don't get tapped. The guide on bear doesn't get tapped. And the deputy flight commander, if you guys have one back there, he would not get tapped. So we'll have tapped. So it's just everybody but those five.
Just get it right.
And I'll give you a left haste. Left haste. Now at this point, I'll tell you to count off. And when I say count off, this first element, this first line right here, turn their head to the right and say 1. 1. And when it just keeps on going, after, right, as soon as they're done saying 1, you guys will turn your head and say 2, and then so on and so forth, all the way down. And you guys in the very back will not turn your head, please. So, count. Puff.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, it's gotta be loud and you didn't turn your head. So it's gotta be loud, just quick. Everyone turns their head. You gotta be loud and quick. So count. Puff.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Count. Puff.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Once that's done, he'll do it twice. Everyone will count off twice. Then you do the left pace. Everyone will turn, and then we'll do open ranks arch. So open ranks arch. It's continuous steps. Remember, pop up your left arm. As soon as you stop, pop your arm up and look right. And then at this point, when everyone is lined up, flight commander will go to the side. And they'll be looking down the line, making sure everyone's lined up. So say, for example, 3 half step forward. You're 3, Christensen. You're 3, so you'll take a half step. Okay. Then 4 step forward. 5 half step forward. 6 half step forward. Okay. Then when you're lined up, he'll move on to the next element. He'll line them up. So 6 half step forward. 6 half step forward. And he'll do that all the way across. And when he's got everyone lined up, he'll move back to the front. And then he'll say, hunt. And he does say, put your arm down. And then it'll inspection's going on. The inspector will be the flight commander. And they'll just go down the individual lines. Just going in front of everyone, and they'll inspect your uniform, look at your hair, and if you're shaven. Then they'll probably ask you warrior knowledge, under FGM. So they'll go all the way through. And once you've gone all the way through and the inspection's done, they'll say close ranks, march, and then you guys will say, you got the same point. And then we'll go on with our day. So has everyone got that? Any questions? This side one?
Sure. During the video, hey y'all, that's all it's after. After that, we're gonna open ranks, inspect. Open ranks, touch! That's open ranks forward hard, so that's not bad. Your arm up. 1, 2, arm up. 3, 4. Other arm. Look that way. You're gonna be kind of looking at this hand. Basically, what you're doing right now is you're gauging your distance.
That's good. He gets right here and he turns around.
Alright, at this time, like I said earlier, I will be talking to the inspector, giving him a salute. Basically, it's new start, like about to get ready. Go over here. Right, peace. Count. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start again. Count. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Much better. Left. Peace. Yeah. They move back. Take 3 steps back. Stay in line.
Should I get his plate, Selfridge? That guy.
Stay there.
Why?
For funsies.
Oh, sure.
This time I'm going to be saluting the inspector, whoever that is. Number 1, quarter step forward. Number 2, quarter step back. 4, quarter step back. 5, quarter step forward. 3, quarter step back. 3, quarter step back. 1, quarter step back. 5, quarter step forward. 5, quarter step back. 6, quarter step forward. 1.
Good evening, sir.
Big flight. Okay, the flight commander needs to be 6 paces away, so, and that's at all times. That's not the row. So from the very front line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where he needs to be at. So for any future reference, that just about any time, 6 paces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, at this time, you're gonna get inspected. This is where uniforms, everything needs to be clean, needs to be tidy, needs to be, the gig has to be right spot on, or else it's just gonna be a gig, no matter if it's 5 minutes apart or what. Other than that, this time, your flight commander, turn around, salute, say,
1, 2, 3,
flight,
4.
or whatever flight you happen to be in, just prepare for inspection. Whenever you drop the salute, drop it. Good. And as flight commander, you'll be doing the duck step to the front of the inspector. The deputy flight commander, which is my position, will be taking the notes, taking the gigs. The deputy is going to start right here. He's not even going to march a whole lot. He's just going to take down notes. Flight commander, let's say, you got the inspectors right here. Flight commander is going to be say inspector's getting done with Cadet Martinez, and he's coming around the back, he's getting ready to start. Well, you will originally be at the foot rest, and then when this guy gets over here, or even when he gets around, you might as well pay attention. You get that? Okay. Same thing at any line. You can be the first element, second, or third. Whenever you're not being inspected, you're at parade rest. Whenever you are, or potentially about to, you be in detention. Alright, that's not all there is to this, but that's all we have time for. So at this time, you need to move to the side of the detachment.
Okay, real quick, Charlie flight. Keep in mind that these are the uniforms what you're wearing right now, which is considered your uniform. So with the shoelaces, you need to tuck them in just like you would a PT. Not right now, you can do it later. But I just wanted to make sure you guys do that.
What?
Run or bust!
Yeah!
That's
right!
Hear that echo all across campus. Good job, Bravo Flight.
1, 2, 3. Out of the line!
It got voted down. It wasn't even in the top 3. So like Charlie likes that.
Charlie bit me.
Can we do like a Charlie fight like
Step on it for both of you. There you go. Now hold on before you do it. Step on it once before the steps a little bit off. Alright, here you go. Step on.
One point of contact. That is 1 point of contact on this piece right here. Visible specified
Right here. Who's next? Do the same thing. We're good. You can get up. That Reggie. Give me a thumbs up if you can look down the process. Everybody can? Put your foot like straggle. He's gonna straggle. So now he's gonna bring his feet up. Hold on. Wait till he brings his feet up. Wait till
You can't talk right now. So
Water.
Like, well, do they need to get some water, bud? Hey, Billy. Let's bring some over here in case I want it.
If it's safety stuff, you can go ahead and talk. I know we take our GLP seriously, but I want people to die.
That ain't clean there.
And while you're here, Mr. Zach, you're going to get a solid uniform.
Good afternoon.
I'll give you a couple seconds to look it up. Look over yourself. You can finish.
Oh, start over.
I feel like this one is a part of individuals compared to the other methodologies.
But doesn't work.
Yes. I just don't know about the teamwork part of it.
I'm an American airman. I'm a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I'm faithful to I'm an American airman. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American airman, guardian of freedom and justice. My nation's sword and shield, its century and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail.
I saw that.
Good idea.
take one step
That is my piece of carbon.
I'll take both of them. Thank you. Then I can record it.
Hey, just watch. Do you know how to record it? Yeah. Okay, just watch.
They're working. I never before.
That nice.
Circle the
Yes.
head.
Alright, give me who is the Air
The Honorable Barack H. Obama. Hey,
Harry, how much time we got left?
and therefore he can transfer over to the next one. That'll be all. You can give him that. Take a step back. Okay, ready to transfer, everybody. 1, 2, 3. All right, now do the same thing. Once, no, not yet. We have to have 2 body parts at a time. Bring that one. It's a lot easier if you have sunglasses. It really is. You have to gaze at myself.
Charlie, you better be louder than that.
Charlie on 3. 1, 2, 3. Charlie!
Bit me.
Once a person gets off the carpet, dip the next person. Make sure you don't touch the ground. Carter doesn't have that problem.
I know a lot of people looking around for some direction. I mean, I know it's like the first joke here, whatever. Just make sure you're always giving them directions and always telling them to just make sure you take control too. This little, you kind of froze up or you got kind of stuck. You got kind of stuck. Make sure you keep control.
Now the person in the end. You just leave it. We don't need it anymore.
What else?
It's communication during. You're the only one who can talk. Definitely use that because a lot of people aren't really sure what to do. So make sure everyone understands what they're doing and yeah, just talk.
We might not notice that someone else has a good idea, and yeah, boss us around, you're the leader. So, I mean, it's kind of weird the first time doing it, but just keep charging out confidence.
1, 2, 3.
No, not like
Charlie Stevens.
That's right, yeah.
Thank you guys saw that. You gave them the time of how long they had to do for that. That's good. You want to make sure that they know how long they're going to, how much time they have to finish it out. You assigned a deputy and a time hack. That was very good. You start off, you briefed the GLP. It was a decent brief. Probably could have gave some more information. Sounded like there was a little bit of confusion at times on what was going on. That's okay. You did ask for suggestions during that time period in which you had a little bit of time to talk, and you were able to take a little bit from everybody else. One thing that I saw that kind of messed a little bit with your plan of time hack and everything. So that Smith, you were the time hack, correct? At times he was having his hands on the ground, and you'd ask him to every minute put up a hand or something. He was going to be on the ground. You couldn't really do that. So either have him go later on, like with you, or something. But just make it easier so that he can be able to give that time a little bit more effectively. And you can also remember to ask, hey, how much time I got at the moment? Just keep it going. You're definitely very vocal with telling them where to go. You gave directions, they're clear and concise. You didn't just overwork it. There was a couple times when people died and had to go back and didn't really notice that. Like there's that giant hole that we had, and you're just like, oh, what's going on? But just a little bit of situational awareness there.
A good thing that you did do is you did maintain control of the flight, because people in were not going to do anything. I know there was a point where the Crothers was at the end, he could have stepped off if he wanted to, but it would have he would have got across, but the whole flight wouldn't have. It's kind of like we're pointing like, hey, I can get off, but you put your foot down and said, no, if you get off, you'll lose the target, and maybe he didn't realize that at the time, so that was good on you for maintaining.
One thing though, it didn't really have much urgency. You guys were kind of just snailing through it. You weren't really going too hard. It was just very slow paced. You want to make sure you have this urgency there.
Push it up. That's all you do.
So that's 8 people. So we're going to need some people to step up for more than one day. If some people can't do certain times, I'll have to. I'll show you the roster. Probably it'll have to be after LLab, and we're just going to have to get that scheduled.
So you're going to have 3 elements. It's going to be really long, and then we're going to do a drill down. So do it real quick. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Step forward, bro.
I'm just gonna walk. Charlie Flat, who needs water?
I do.
Hey, get it, Faulkner.
You want those commands? I can.
Hey, Faulkner. Not all of them know what a drill down is yet.
What do they know though?
Just so you're aware.
Well, I was gonna do you want to do the last flight. The winner of this thing needs to be from Bravo flight. So don't make your flight mates laugh, make the other flight mates laugh.
Okay. Eyes! Pose! Try it again. Eyes! Pose! Okay, this is basically what we're doing is a drill down. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this Cadet Juarez, he's going to call out commands. He's going to say, at my command, and then he's going to start giving commands. He's going to do left face, right face, about face, all that stuff that you've learned before. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to see who's got that military bearing and who's also listening to commands. Remember, you have preparatory commands and then the execution command. So listen, listen, listen. Where's all yours?
At my command, attention. Left. Right.
Already see this smiley face already. Holy smokes.
My goodness.
Everybody's out.
Oh, who has? We got one. Who's got an ironclad bearing?
All right. Left. All right. So on that, eyes. Okay. You probably don't know this. Go to enhanced drill. Learn. If I say one command like left, and then I counter with the right face, you have to say as you were. So in that case, every one of you except Cadet Butler was out. So just FYI, okay? Make sure it's one command and one command only. If I try to mix up 2 commands, I have to say as you were before you make the move, okay? So just so you understand.
Flight are you in? Charlie flight.
Charlie flight. All right, as you work. Right, peace. Right, peace. Left, peace. Up, bow. Peace. Whoa. Whoa. Turn around, you are out. Basically, okay, so when somebody's in command,
Everybody listen up.
when somebody's in command and giving you basic movements or whatever, whoever's
Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in.
whoa, you were facing the wrong way. Okay, so listen up. Okay. If you heard me call the command, you should not have followed that command unless I say. What do I say?
Like ever, you'll say at my command.
There you go. Right. So I did not assume
Anyone
command
confused on what
that
happened?
was, and you guys obeyed my command, which is a wrongful.
I wasn't confused either. I just
Keep that in mind so
it
you're not
sounded-
listening to the wrong people.
sounded
next time.
exactly.
They do that every time.
I could never.
We got some right just facing straight into the sun. Preset arms.
Some stubbles there.
Left crease. Quarter arms. All right. Get that belly right here. Get that knight right here. Okay. Get that butler. Post right here.
Oh, here we go.
Back here.
Here we go. Here we go. That's what I like to see. It's about to get deep.
Course step
It's gonna
forward.
get intense. All right.
All right.
Who's got an iron?
Here's what's going on. You were gonna sing. You probably shouldn't do that with people around. You think you should?
Make them say something nice about each other.
Quietly. Alright, you guys are gonna sing on one because you're gonna be actions with it. If you laugh around.
Come on, make it your
I want it
flight.
synchronized and I want it right. Get it done. Let's go.
Whoever's flight,
Ready?
cheer 'em on.
Set.
Kawara's mask question. Would it be dangerous to do the motions as this?
No, if you're all doing it right, you should all do it correctly and not hit each other. Okay? Go.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get stand up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me
Wow,
out.
that's ironclad.
That was beautiful. To that night, you see how that worked? That's every minute.
Yes, it was.
All right.
Handle and what's a spout?
Take
Get it burning. A handle is what you hold the teapot, and a spout's what comes out.
Okay.
The spout comes out. The spout comes out. All right, take a half step back. All of you, half step back. All right, here we go. Right, peace. Left, peace.
Right? Peace.
Left.
At my command, about peace. About peace.
At my command. Right.
Ooh, Cadet Knight is holding it.
Left.
You got out.
He's quivering.
Hey, hang on. I brought something back. He came all over. It was about a year ago. He was about 1 year old now. I got this little friend.
Freeze
the bearing dog.
He's mean. The bearing dog is coming for you. He's hungry. He's gonna eat
Absolutely hungry.
Order.
He's gonna eat you. He's gonna gobble you up. He's gonna gobble you up. It's kind of hard to do that with dogs are chained.
Order. On.
Everyone's talking.
You're so handsome. I thought they were Oh my goodness.
How do you ignore one person and hear the other guy? The other guy's
Turn around. Go, Richard.
They were in the same category. I did my best. I'll take bronze. I'll be alright.
Tough field.
Pull yourself forward.
Billy, watch out.
Oh, Richie's already smiling.
Outstanding, Cadet Juarez.
Ask you a
Yes, Cadet Juarez. How does your breath smell, Cadet Juarez?
My breath or his breath?
Your breath, Cadet Juarez. Yes, Cadet Juarez.
Get that nervous, dry mouth, stank breath right now.
You want to get it out?
All right, you both did great. Good job. Give them a round of applause. Go.
Hey, listen up. Listen up. Listen.
I would do it.
All right, here we go.
Listen up. Listen up. Lock it up.
I'm my command. Forward. About peace. Right. Peace. If you turned, you're out.
Moved, you're out.
Left. Peace. Cover.
Cover.
We are not penguins.
You're out. That's Spark, you're out.
About peace.
Sir, because of
Left. Peace. Right. Peace. About peace. Present. Pizza.
Keep it innocent.
Look at Harrison. You're getting close.
Left. Peace.
Carbo loading.
Right. Peace. Left. Right. Peace. As you work. Left. Peace. Present. Arms.
Oh, if you drop your salute, you're out.
Oh, very tricky point. All right, here we go. Go, brother, play. Let's do it. At my command, preset Hawks. At my command, order arms.
At my command, present arms.
At my command,
You're out.
present arms. Order arms. At my command, about peace.
Look at these 100s rocking it.
Order arms.
Oh, nope. Check this. Is that your command?
Left face. If you did not do a left face. Order arms. Out.
Okay.
Where we're at right now.
You out. At my command, about peace.
There you go.
At my command, about peace.
Can you?
Left, peace. Right, peace. Order arms.
Ooh, he flinched. Got him. Left peace. Are these all alpha flight? Left peace. These are all alpha flight.
You're right. You're all done. You all are done. We got the winner right here.
Apparently that was the wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
No.
I wasn't.
All right, we're going to start with the flight chant, starting with Alpha, then Bravo, and Charlie. Alpha, when you're ready.
Good. Alpha flight. Who are we?
Angle Bears! Ooh! Kill 'em!
Bravo flight.
Charlie Bravos!
Don't touch the hair! Bravo or bust!
Somebody's moving.
I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
Scout potential. Scout potential.
Let's work on it.
All right, flights, remember to keep working on that and improving on it. Yes. Next, we're going to have Cadet Faulkner give announcements and a review.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and knock out the announcements first real quick. Okay, September the 13th, there's going to be an air show at Altus Air Force Base. It's going to be free. The gates are going to be open at 0900. It's going to be about a 3-hour drive, so if you want to go, you're going to need to meet here at the detachment at 0600. To get a hold of, if you want to go, you need to contact Cadet Tom or Cadet Painter. All right, also there's going to be some T6s coming into Stillwater, the Stillwater Airport. It's going to be Saturday, November the 14th. There's going to be the pilots there, so you can talk to them, ask questions. Also, contact Cadet Tom or Cadet Painter if that's something you want to go check out. We still need at least 4 more volunteers for the elevation math study. So if that's something you want to do, I'm sure it's probably going to be pretty cool. Sign up for that. Get in contact with Captain Moffat. Okay, do you have a Tuesday? Yeah. Announcement?
Okay, cadets, as you know, for you returning cadets, last year we had a POW MIA run on Boomer Lake. We're doing the same exact thing this year for you new cadets. We'll be carrying the POW and the American flag on Boomer Lake for 24 consecutive hours. That's on Saturday, October 11th. There'll be more information in the ops orders with that this week. And I will have to sign up to your own detachment, so when you sign up, there'll be a time slot. I'll be coordinating with the Army, since it's more joint event this year, so I'll be coordinating with them also. So hopefully everyone will have to run one lap instead of like some people running like 6 or 7 last year. Thank you.
If you sign up, please show up. Some people ran about 30 miles that night, literally. I'm not joking, because people didn't show up and we wanted to keep the flag moving. So if you sign up, please show up so you don't screw over one of your cadet mates. Wingmen.
All right, there's another thing. We're doing Relay for Life this year. This is a non-ROTC sponsored event. Basically what we're doing is working with the Army, and we're going to raise money for a charity, and we're going to do fundraising events for this charity throughout the semester. And then there's going to be like a run. It's kind of like a marathon in Tulsa next semester. We need volunteers. Again, we're working with the Army. It's a good way to get to know the Army cadets. And if you have any questions or want to sign up, help volunteer, help fundraise, contact me. There's going to be sign-up sheets in the debt as well. So look out for those. And if you have any questions, contact me. And I'll be here after lab if you want to come sign up right now.
Okay, let's do a quick review on today's LLab. All right, so first we were given a briefing by Cadet Matusak and Cadet McGrath on sexual harassment. Okay. We also went over the ORI. We showed you a video. We will be practicing that more in time with an enhanced drill. So if you have time, come to enhanced drills on Tuesdays so you can get some practice in on that. Also, with the GLP, this is kind of an interesting GLP for us. I know some groups weren't allowed to talk. You have to come up with strategies on the fly. Communication is key. You're going to use communication all throughout ROTC, definitely when you get into the Air Force. So sometimes it's verbal or non-verbal in some cases. So communication is very, very, very important. A couple things I wanted to point out. I know 2 weeks ago, had a briefing on customs and courtesies and greetings and things like that. Don't even make sure you're doing that. I know personally myself, I've seen some cases where just had some cadets just stroll by. Okay, that's not okay. That's why we have our customs and courtesies. There's a reason for that. Also, on the second floor bathroom now, we need to have that cleaned up, okay? I know there's some clothing items in there that need to be removed. If those are your items, you need to have them out of there by next week. If not, looks like I got some free clothes. And also for the POC, you are allowed to store one uniform or one full set of uniform items up there. There is a memorandum up there that tells you how to standardize things so that way it looks neat and clean, because we do have guests coming around and checking that out, and we just don't want to have clothes laying around and it being unorganized.
Again, that's only for POC. GMC, do not store your uniforms in that room.
You can use the restroom, of course, but do not be leaving uniform items in there. Any questions? Okay.
So just real quick, a lot of cadets missed PT this week just because we didn't have school Monday for Labor Day. So make sure you guys get your memos into us. Try tomorrow to get them in no later than 1400 so that Cadet McNelly
has time to look at those and make sure all of them are good to go. Also, if you guys don't have barcodes or need to get them replaced, let me know after LLab so I can get those to you for next week for PT.
Just so everybody's on the same page where the customs and courtesies comes in. During LLab time frame, you're still expected to do customs and courtesies if you're not actively involved in a GLP. So if you're just standing around talking or not doing something and a POC or an officer walks up, you should give the greeting of the day and salute. If you're actively involved in the GLP or you're monitoring for safety or something like that, you don't need to do anything. But if you're just transiting or you're walking around out here not doing anything, that's when you still need to do customs and courtesies.
Alright. Squadron!
Boy!
Change cut! Get 670!